Welcome back. The new county commissioners' chambers were evacuated this last week. News 46 spoke to Nye County Emergency Services Director Vance Payne.
Today we're at the Nye County Administration buildings at the Calvada I and Pahrump. We were called here after Commissioner Butch Boraski was opening his Daily Mail. Inside a package that he opened was some material that he felt made him lightheaded. So as a precautionary measure, we had him leave the area. He's been removed to Desert View Hospital for monitoring. He has no apparent problems right now. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, Nye County Hazmat, Nye County Emergency Management, and the Nye County Sheriff's Office are at the scene working together, preparing to make an entry with some diagnostic equipment to determine if there is or is not a problem. As in most hazmat incidents, this is going to be pretty time consuming. We don't do anything in a hurry. The building has been secure and all employees were evacuated. We'll let you know if, as things progress, whether we do or do not find anything. And
I have a question for you. Was the letter of local origin?
That's undetermined right now. We believe that it may have come from Tonopah, but we're not sure.
After further investigation, the package was deemed safe. All employees returned to the office building approximately 3:30, and Commissioner Boraski's medical condition appears to be unrelated to the incident. Boraski is in good condition at this time, and the package contained a CD from a local resident.
And Desert View Hospital will most likely be the new drop-off location for drug disposal. The Nye County Sheriff's Office is the only facility in the country, according to Sheriff Tony DeMaio, that offers this program 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The Sheriff's Office presented the media with new medical return boxes, which is part of Operation Medicine Cabinet for prescription and non-prescription drug disposal. There will be 3 placed throughout the county.
Prescription drugs actually killing and ODing more people than street drugs. Pretty much we've been ahead of the game trying to get these drugs off the street. And these are prescription drugs, with the exception of this, which is drugs that were just basically found by our people in the last week and a half. Not part of any cases, just found illegal drugs. These are the legal drugs that's prescribed. Back in April 4, 2008, my mother passed away. She was diagnosed as cancer, and within a short period of time, she passed. Within that short period of time, the amount of drugs that my mother was given for pain was quite a bit. In fact, when hospice came to pronounce her dead, because it was a hospice case, I asked them what we're going to do with all these drugs, and we had quite a bit of drugs. And they said, well, we can't take them. You have to dispose of them yourself. And at that time, there was only 2 options. One is either take them, flush them down the toilet, which is a septic system, which then will get into our groundwater, which these drugs have a very long half-life and will pollute our water. The other was just to dispose them in the garbage, which did not necessarily seem to be an adequate solution for the amount of illegal drugs, which are very high Schedule I drugs, which are painkillers, which is the #1 prescription drug killing people in America today. In fact, more people are killed. In the study I looked at, more people killed by prescription drugs, ODing prescription drugs, than were killed 1 year on homicides using firearms. I turned them into the Nye County Sheriff's Office for disposal there, and then I went to Lieutenant Jack Hennigan and asked him to get in touch with hospice and find out if there's any kind of drug program that we can operate on a 365 24/7 operation, where we can start taking drugs that are no longer being utilized by patients or just medicines that are in the file cabinets, and give them to us for proper disposal. And at that time, the Nye County Sheriff's Office started what is known to be Operation Medicine Cabinet, because we try and find a name for it. Operation Medicine Cabinet pretty much became our year-long operation to take these drugs off the streets of Nye County. These are the legal. This is within 1 week and a half. We are the only police agency that we can find that does this on a 24/7, 365-day operation. The only one in the country. The only one in the state of Nevada. And all our research, in fact, I actually had Ben go and do further research. We're the only ones that do it in the country. Just imagine the amount of illegal drugs that are in people's houses where people have no idea how to get rid of them. When if it's a death of an individual, they're kind of stuck, it gets thrown in the garbage. Or what happens is then it becomes someone else will take that and use it illegally and push that drugs out in the street.
And in continuing with that story, Laura Osland from Nye Communities Coalition gives some shocking recent statistics.
September 29, 2012, nationally, 488,395 pounds of pills like this were taken off the streets, out of houses. People were able to dispose of them properly. Nevada alone, we had 2,038 pounds. We had over 1 ton of pills taken off the street and out of circulation. And in the 2 years that the DEA has been doing drug takebacks, over 2 million pounds have been removed from our nation so that people don't have access to it. Another thing that we are working on with the Sheriff's Department, with the coalition, is the reason that we have so many pills to be disposed of is painkillers alone. And this study came from, or this data came from our State Board of Pharmacy in Pahrump from January 1st to October 31st of 2012, we had 5,317,258 doses of opioid pain relievers written. That's how many in just in 10 months, 10 complete months, were put into the houses and on the streets in our town, in Pahrump alone. And so that's why this is necessary, and that's why we love the support of the Sheriff's Department, and why we understand that they have a huge, huge task ahead of them to keep these off the street and to keep us healthy and to keep our community as strong as we can.
And just remember, we've been doing this since we started this program back in shortly thereafter, April 4th, we started this program. So this program has been operating in the Nye County Sheriff's Office since 2008. And as you can see here, quite a few amount of pounds of drugs, and they talk about the pounds that have been taken on the street just within our program. And the amount of the statistics that were just quoted is for two days. They do that a year, not necessarily the 363 days that drugs are accumulating. Drugs are being pushed out in the street in various ways, either being placed in the garbage cans, placed down septic systems, or basically being taken from households where the drugs are no longer being utilized, and then putting back out in the street for illegal drug use.
Right, and as the sheriff said, proper disposal is huge. If they flush it down, as he said, the half-life is tremendous. They don't break down. No water treatment system in the nation takes opioids or any other type of prescription drugs out of the water. So when they go into the system, they're in the system. And so they treat the water, they get it drinkable, but the components of the drugs are not out, even if they've dissipated. If they're thrown in the garbage landfills, then the creatures eat them. The birds eat them, something eats the birds, they have droppings, we eat what eats the droppings, so eventually it gets back to us because the half-life, they just don't break down as easily as we would hope. And so that's why proper disposal is huge.
To dispose of medications, you can also call the Nye County Sheriff's Office at 751-7000.
And News 46 will return in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.